Hey guys, I got another video for you guys today. My name's Steven. This is my Mazdaspeed 6, and this is going to be a video on how to big turbo swap a Mazdaspeed 6 or Speed 3 or basically any turbo car for that matter. So my turbo is right there. It's a Garret GT 2871R. It's completely catless, my exhaust, and front mounted with a HTP intake. So if you're gonna be big turbo swapping your Mazda, you're gonna need probably a bigger intake. This is a 3.5-inch intake, and you'll need probably at least a 3.5-inch intake. If you don't have an intake that size, you'll just be choking your turbo a little bit and probably won't make nearly as much power. So that's why you got to do that. It'd be kind of pointless to have a big turbo but small intake, so definitely want probably a 3.5. I love this intake. If you can find one used, that's even better. You're going to want at least a top mount intercooler, upgraded top mount intercooler, or a front mounted intercooler, because if you don't have those, it will just overheat and you won't make as much power. So I have that front mount. It's a TR10 intercooler. It's painted black, that's why you can't really see it that well, but yeah, it's a TR10 intercooler with custom intercooler piping that I made myself. So yeah, for the exhaust manifold, I bought a cheap eBay manifold because I liked the way it looked and I didn't want to spend that much on the manifold, so that's why I went with that one. It looks kind of bad right now, so I'm probably gonna ceramic coat it or something like that, but it works for now. You will want a upgraded downpipe. I went with a catless one because again it was cheaper. Catted works fine, but I like the idea of getting the most power out of it. You will definitely want some motor mounts and probably the rear like tranny mount or whatever it is, because your motor will start to kind of shake after that much power. Currently I don't have those mounts. They're on order right now. Hopefully they'll come in soon. It's not like horrible, but you could end up destroying your mounts, like that one right there. They're fine for right now, but as you push more power you could end up destroying them. My intake manifold is stock. I'm going to port and polish it and probably do a video on that, but for now it's stock. You'll just lose a little bit of power if you leave it stock, just like anything. If the more stock parts you have, the less power you can make. I have this GFB blow-off valve. I vent it to atmosphere because I like the sound, and it doesn't really matter. It kind of cleans up the engine bay anyways without having that tube right there. Let's see, what else? Oh, I can show you guys the stock turbo. Let's do that. So, right here, we have the stock turbo. So this is the size of the stock turbo right there. And as you can see, right down in there is the aftermarket turbo. It's so hard to see because it's tucked back there, but basically it's like crazy how much of a difference it is. It's a lot bigger. And so what you have to deal with on these is you have a oil, so you have a coolant, I believe this is the coolant drain right here. You have the oil drain, which is that one, that flap right there. And then you have the coolant feed, which is that one right there, I believe. And then you have the oil feed. And so what happens is on this oil feed, on the new one, at least for me, mine was a smaller bolt, so you have to buy, it's called a low profile banjo bolt, and basically it's just a smaller bolt, but you can't buy them like at a auto parts store or anything, you have to buy them online because it's such a specific thread pitch, and like I think it's an M12 by like 1.5 pitch or something like that, and it's quite hard to get in because it's tucked. Let's see if you can see it. It is tucked right down there. I don't know, hopefully you're getting that, but it's basically tucked, and you have to press down on it like that as you're screwing it to put the pressure and try to get it to go in the hole. And so there's a cool little method to do that. If you get a, let's see, if you get a socket and then a, let's see, and then a nut, just any nut, I'll show you guys. So if you get a socket, you probably won't want deep dish or deep socket, whatever. You'll want like the thinner one, but this will work for now. So if you imagine there's the socket and the bolt, the new low profile bolt doesn't have that like washer part attached to it. It's just the bolt. So when you put it in like that, it sinks all the way through. So this ends up being over here like that, and so you won't have as much thread to work with. So if you put a nut in there, in the actual, like that, and then you put it on, it'll push it out more, and then you can put pressure on it. So that's how you do that part. Okay guys, as it stands right now, the turbo's out, manifold's out, and that's what it looks like. There's 4 lines. There's a coolant feed, coolant drain, oil feed, and oil drain. And right now they're all on the turbo, as well as the flange for the downpipe. The downpipe flange is that guy right there. And then this is the oil drain, I believe. That's the coolant drain, and then the other 2 are on the car. But I think the easiest way to put it back in will be to put the manifold and the turbo in connected at the same time, and then put the studs right there, the studs all in after that, and hopefully it'll go well. Okay guys, I said earlier in this video that you would want to put the turbo and manifold in the car at the same time, but it was actually easier to put the turbo in first and then the manifold. Also, you should hook up the oil lines and the coolant lines before the manifold. It'll make it 1,000 times easier. So just wanted to clarify that. Put the turbo in first, get the lines done, and then put the manifold in, and it'll save you a big headache. Also, you're gonna definitely have to pull the studs, which are these guys. These studs right here, which are the studs that go to the head. It's hard to see. Oh. Okay. So the studs are those guys right there. So that's the stud, that's a stud over there. Basically what holds the manifold on are the studs, and so what you have to do in order to get those off is you have to take off that nut first and then pull the stud itself. They're Torx bits like those, the stars, you know, which suck, but you can actually use a, let's see, you can use a 1/4 mil. Okay, so if you don't have the Torx bit to get this stud out, let's see if it'll focus. Come on, focus. It's kind of going. But anyways, if you don't have Torx bits, a 1/2 inch socket or wrench, whatever it is, will fit right on those. So if you can see that right there, it'll fit on perfectly snug. And again, it's a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch, excuse me, 1/4 inch. There we go, kind of 1/4 inch. It's not metric, it's the standard. So 1/4 inch standard will work. You can take out those studs, and you have to take the studs out. It's impossible, not to mention it just makes it easier, but I'm pretty sure it's impossible to take out the manifold and the turbo without the studs. So you just have to pull the studs out, remove the manifold, pull the old turbo, put the new turbo in, hook up the lines for the new turbo, put the new manifold in, and then you're set, you're good to go. Also, it goes without mentioning, you do need a high pressure fuel pump, just in case anyone was confused. You do need those internals, but you should get those internals like as the first mod you do. So just in case anyone was wondering, I don't know if it was obvious or not, but you definitely want this high pressure fuel pump right here, the internals, the high pressure fuel pump internals, to be done before really any modding, just because it's always good to have the fueling. Okay, next, so when you have the turbo in the car itself, the oil feed right there on the new one is quite easy to get to because it's right on top. It's just hard, like I said. The coolant lines are both really easy because they're just like little lines. One goes on, that's one right there. So as you can see, it goes on this guy right here, whatever that coolant thing is. So you have your coolant there, it runs through into like this weird looking thing right here, whatever that is, and then that's the coolant right there. And that line goes right up here, up there, and back right there. So that right there on the turbo, see that line right there, crosses down and then comes right in here. So that one's really easy. Both coolant lines are quite easy. The other one you do before you get the manifold hooked up, but it's in the back there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like down there. And that one's quite easy. The oil drain goes down below the manifold, and like I said, it's that guy right there. And that one is kind of hard to get on because there's like a gasket, a metal gasket that goes here, and you have to put the gasket. My recommendation is don't mount the turbo before you have this one hooked up. You can mount it after, but I would say don't mount the turbo itself until you have this mounted to the car, because it'll like it has this same end on both sides of the coolant. So you mount that to the turbo, and then you stick the turbo into the car, and then you bolt it into the car where it goes. You'll see it's pretty easy. And then use the manifold and bolt the manifold to it, and then work on getting your low profile oil feed into it. And that's how you do that. And then to get the boost controller installed, it's super simple. So I thought it was going to be more difficult, but it's basically, this is the control solenoid. I have the COG one, and so it's a 3-port boost controller solenoid. So the top one runs, if you can follow that, runs right down the middle. The top one does, right down the middle, and tees right here off into 2. So one goes into your intake manifold right there, and the other goes into your blow-off valve. So that's how you do the top one. So the one line goes right there onto your boost control solenoid, then down to there, and then tees off into your blow-off valve and into your intake manifold. Then the second one, this one right here, or third one, second one, whatever it is, goes to your wastegate, I believe. Yeah, goes to your wastegate. So that one just goes down to where the turbo's at, which is also hard to see, but oh, it's right, let's see, right down there, as you can see. Right there is the wastegate with the little yellow zip tie there. So that one's super simple. And then the final one is the easiest one, and it's this guy right here on the back. That one that I'm touching goes down to your intake. So yeah, right there. So first one goes to intake, second one goes to the T that goes to your blow-off valve and intake manifold, and the third one goes to your wastegate. So that's how you do that. That's super simple. It mounts, it actually bolts straight up to like one of these little guys in the firewall, and that's super nice. You can just literally screw it on. And then these wires right here, there will be a plug because you're ditching on the stock turbo, this right here. So there's a plug, this plug right here is the plug that's this plug right here. And that's super simple. You just connect it up, you're good. And then the other sensor is a 3.5 bar map sensor or something like that, or 3.0, I think it's 3.5 that you get it. And that goes on your intake manifold, and it's really hard to see, but basically it's like it's just right there, like right below. Oh, you can kind of see it. Let's see. Oh, it's so close. Let's see. You can see that. I don't know, but it's right there basically, right down there and on the intake manifold, and it's super simple. It's like this far in, right there. But that's super easy. And then let's see. Okay guys, I'm finished. The video is quite long, but hopefully it helps somebody out. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Really, it seems like super complicated, but it's so easy to swap this turbo. It will take a little bit of time, but honestly you could do it in a day or two with all the parts and stuff. I'm definitely not the best at this. I'm still learning, still have no idea what I'm doing. There's far better people than me, and I did it. So if I did it, you definitely can do it. Thank you for watching, and hit that subscribe button, help me out. I'll keep the videos coming, and thank you.